Hello, and welcome to Candidates Upfront, a public interest election program of Berks Community Television and the League of Women Voters of Berks County. Our November 7th general election is coming up. Citizens who are 18 or older will vote for judges, school directors, and township, borough, and city officials. The deadline to register to vote is October 23rd. To check your voting status, go to vote.pa.gov. That's vote.pa.gov. You can register, change your party, locate your polling place, or apply for an absentee or mail-in ballot. And the deadline to apply for those is October 31st. If you are looking for information on statewide, school, or township races or borough officials, please use the League's online voters guide, vote411.org. That's vote411.org. And for information on countywide and Reading candidates, please stay tuned. The League interviewed candidates in contested races, those who wanted to be interviewed, and for each race, the candidates got the same basic questions and had the same amount of time to answer them. For the League, I'm Judith Cranus, and let's begin.
Hello, I'm Bill Litvin, a member of the League of Women Voters of Berks County. The featured office today is Reading Mayor. The mayor controls and is accountable for the executive branch of city government. Executive and law enforcement powers are vested in the mayor. The mayor is responsible for preparing a balanced budget, developing administrative policies, and hiring, with council approval, a managing director. The mayor needs to have lived in the city continuously for 1 year immediately preceding the primary election and to continue to reside in the city throughout the term in office. The position is full-time, the term is 4 years, and the current annual salary is $92,000. Two candidates are vying for the position: Democrat Eddie Moran and Republican Joseph Jose Nunez. Each candidate's views are their own and not those of the League or BCTV. Today, our candidate is Joseph Jose Nunez. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Bill.
Please tell our viewers about yourself and why you are running.
Well, I am born and raised here in America. I come from Dominican parents who have a little bit of Italian descent. And I am running because I want to challenge the current administration to do a better job, to do a consistent job, and to give them something to fight for.
Please share with us your education and background that you bring to the position.
Well, I am a man of many hats. I currently wear a business hat. I have a current pause of moment of so many things I can say because I'm still stuck on the first question, Bill, to be fair with you, as to why I'm running. And I do want to challenge the current administration, and I do want to better the community. And I feel like Reading is home to me, and I just want to put my name in the hat to make a change.
Okay.
My education, I'm currently studying an MBA. Okay, so I'm still studying for that right now, looking to finish that hopefully by the end of the year. I am an automotive tech grade level A graduate out of Charleston, West Virginia, and I ended up high school with a general education degree. I went for dance and art in my major, and then I went to automotive, which was left to right.
That's a wide range of interests then.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and what personal qualities do you have that will help you be an effective mayor?
I like to consider myself a mediator, Bill, someone that doesn't always let me try to come back to this.
Okay.
I am a mediator. I'm a servant leader. I'm an advocate for change, and I'm a very faithful individual. I'm very determined and relentless when it comes to my ambitions. I think that all people should have the right to exercise their faith and what they believe in, and I'm an advocate for that.
Okay. Do you think that Penn Street is healthy and successful? And if not, what would you do to change it and make it more successful and more healthy?
I don't think Penn Street is healthy at all. And it's not the thriving main street that Reading should have. I would start by giving all the business owners a loading zone for themselves, and by removing the parking problem that we have in the business district. So yes, I did say that. I would give everyone free parking to come and do business here on Penn Street at a minimum of 2 hours or an hour, so that they can come and enjoy the city of Reading without having to get a fine. That is right, I did say that.
Okay. And what do you see as the biggest issues that will be facing Reading in the next 4 years?
Reading will face probably a housing crisis through an influx of immigrants and people coming here to find a place of shelter. They're possibly going to go through organized crime, or crime per se would probably thrive. I see drugs and opioid being a major pandemic. And that is just light of what I see at the forefront of the next couple of years.
Okay. Some in our community say that Reading has traffic problems and parking problems. You talked about that already a bit for the downtown, but the whole community has challenges with parking. Yeah. How would you mitigate those concerns or change the situation? Not just downtown, but in the neighborhoods.
Overall city. So overall, I don't really see Reading having a traffic problem per se, okay. Because I come from or have visited many different places that have real traffic problems. I think that maybe by getting, people to help organize or direct traffic, if things get a little bit too hectic, that'll help mitigate a little bit of the pain. But when it comes to parking, I have yet to go dive deep into the problem.
Sure.
I do know that there are residential places that have meters in the front of them. So people who rent or live in these places have to constantly pay to park in front of their homes. I also see that there's an abundance of cars in the city of Reading. So these are things that I would like to dedicate time and attention to help find a solution and a problem. One of the things that I think would probably help if the street is a little wider and bigger, instead of having cars parked horizontally, they can park at a slant, so that instead of 10 cars, we can maybe have 20 cars park in the same street.
Okay. What do you feel are the most important concerns of the people of the city?
Well, some of the concerns that the people have right now has to do with housing, has to do with crime and safety. Of course, parking is a huge issue here. And loud music per se. A lot of people complain about loud music being played at all different hours. And there are a lot of drug users out in the open. So that could be a heavy problem and a burden to a lot of people that, have to deal with their cars being broken into and things like that.
Okay. And how would you plan to involve residents in the decision-making process?
I would continue to champion what the city is currently doing, which is promote their website, continue to encourage people to sign up to the newsletter, and I would do a little bit more local media and use local media channels and outlets by promoting whatever's going on in the city, in the paper, and voicing that stuff out currently.
Blighted properties. Some say that they should be fixed. Some say they should be redeveloped or repurposed. How would you address the issue of blighted properties in the city?
So I am in the real estate business, and blighted properties is something that I've been chewing on because, one, I think that you should take what's good, redevelop what's good, sell what you cannot handle, and trash whatever you cannot fix. I would remove the ones that I cannot fix, pave the road, and maybe make room for individual mobile homes. so that we can bring in a different housing solution to the current problem we have. So if it's fixable, fix it. If it's something that we cannot manage because of time or efficiency, sell at auction. And if it's something that cannot be sold at auction or fixed by the Reading City, trash it and pave to make mobile homes or eco-friendly homes right now, which are very, very popular and very simple. Like, there's so many options there.
Okay. Most of the time, Reading is a safe place to work, live, and visit. Yet violence related to drugs, gangs, and disagreements hurts the neighborhoods and the reputation of the city. What can the city do to thwart this violence?
Well, the city is here to govern. We cannot take full control of the actions of people that are choosing to be abrupt. But the city can take the power that it already has through community organizations and then continue to empower those community organizations so that they can be an outlet to those who cannot voice their problem, who find it easier to be abrupt than to come in and counsel. By championing a servant mindset and a leadership mindset and being an open door city hall where people can come in and express their problems, their concerns with safety, or really what's bothering them then. A lot of people can't voice their problems because they don't know how to express themselves. And in the city, we have so many good people that just aren't understood. They're misunderstood and they're labeled as bad, but they're just misunderstood. And if we have an open door policy where those people can become self-aware of what is going on in their lives, then we can help mitigate that type of adverse reaction that we currently have right now.
Okay. Budget decisions are hard. Sometimes the services that people enjoy, parks, libraries, are underfunded, so things people need, like police and street repair, can be properly funded. How will you prioritize spending when you develop a budget?
Well, when it comes to budgeting and it comes to parks and recreational and police and things like that, I'm not going to per se say I'm going to do this or do that. What I am going to do is mark what's urgent, what is extremely needed, and what has been overlooked for far too long. And we're going to champion what's urgent. We are going to send what's extremely needed. And then we are going to give and delegate what has been overlooked. Because there's a lot of things that are going on in a budget. So okay, all things are important, right? The people fight or the people have adverse effects to the city because they don't have a good park to channel stress or a good bike ride or something to channel the stress that they have, okay? But without proper policing, we have complete chaos. We can look at many other cities that can show us what that looks like. So we need to be diligent in what's important and what's needed.
Okay, Reading has aging housing stock, absentee landlords, more rented than owner-occupied houses, and city codes. How would you address these issues to improve the city?
Okay, being in the real estate business, I can tell you that there is a tit and a tat for all of this, okay? Landlords, absentee landlords, renters, owners. Owners take more pride in their city, okay? They just do because they have stake in the game, okay? Renters, however, also can take pride in the city because they are renting in the city. And this is our city. This is not just the government city. This is not just the landlord's city. It is your city. You should take pride in your city. You know, in our culture, in the Dominican culture, we clean every Saturday morning. I think that you should take the time on Saturday to clean every morning because this is your city. So how would I help with this? You have to do your job. Okay. That's how I would help with it. This is our responsibility. We're all responsible for this.
Okay. Reading has aging infrastructure, and in the case of technology, not enough infrastructure. How can these be brought up to date?
Aged infrastructure and technology infrastructure.
Challenging topics.
Oh, it's a good topic. I like it because, one, aged infrastructure has a lot to do with history and a lot to do with how the Historic Society runs their renovations and how they want to renovate and pick up that type of historical building. So that question is more for the Historical Society than it is for me and the people that are going to develop these buildings. When it comes to technology, I think that we are way behind. We don't even have a map of the bus routes on Penn Street for the BARTA bus. You don't have a secure map at the bus station that shows you where you're going. If you don't have a phone, you don't know where you're going, or you don't know what type of bus you need to take. So I encourage the current administration to just put bus maps. Okay. As simple as that, because that's really technology.
Okay, that ties into our next question. Would more public transportation help Reading residents and businesses? And if so, how would you go about getting it?
So public transportation is already there. I think the BARTA system is working well. Should they want to add more routes, that will be determined as per the users that are going to take it. We already have a great cab network. So if it comes to public transportation and we're talking about bringing in bigger buses that are going to transport us to other cities, then yes, we are a desolate transport city. We don't have a train, we don't have a big bus, and that's just overlooked. So how would I help with this? I would tackle these types of problems going forward with the current leaders that are working towards this progress. And I would help them or, aid them in my counsel as to how we can better that in our community.
What is the one thing that you'd really hope to accomplish if elected?
I would like to make Reading a great place to live, a thriving place to succeed, and a place where the locals want to stay, work, and play. We have all the goodness of being one of the most touristic places in the state. And Reading has so much rich history that needs to be shared. So if by the 4 years that hopefully you're elected mayor, I would like to see businesses thrive, local communities become more entrepreneurial, and we should find the niche that makes Reading the great place. I know it, and you know it, it will be.
The city has 3 unions. How do you view the relationship between the mayor and the unions, and what would your philosophy be on collective bargaining with the unions?
Well, the current relationship between the mayor and the 3 unions, I don't know what their relationship looks like. I don't know what their current relationship looks like, but it looks like it's going well. The unions are in control of a couple of the things already in services for the city of Reading, and I would like nothing more than to speak with those union members to see how we can collaborate and work and play together.
Okay. Please give us your closing statement. You have about a minute.
1 minute to share with you 4 years of where my vision is. I consider this place a suburban city, a college town, a thriving town, and I see Reading as the crown of the state of Pennsylvania. We are the niche, and we are the people that this place has been waiting for. And change happens now. Change is right now. Change moves mountain, change brings about aspiration, change brings inspiration. Change is right now. And it begins with us.
Well, thank you, Joseph Jose Nunez, for sharing your views with us. Viewers, please remember there is another candidate for mayor, Eddie Moran. You will find Candidates Up Front interviews on BCTV and its website and YouTube page. For more information on more candidates, go to the League's online voters guide, vote411.org, or contact Berks County Election Services, elections@countyofberks.com. Thank you for watching Candidates Up Front. I'm Bill Litvin. Good day.